All right, hello. Good evening, whether early or late, depending on time zone, or hi for people watching for whom that is not true. All right. All right. So, last time we were doing stuff in Dread Delusion in Pwyll, the town slash, you know, island, town slash sky island called Pwyll. And right now, I'm actually going to where is that? I'm gonna fill up the map a little bit as I'm just sort of waiting for more people to trickle in before actually moving on to Hallowshire as the stream title suggests. As I was explaining last time, I think one of the neat things about this game is the map system, because you basically get landmarks you have to manually fill out. And so, what that means... Oh, unspent illusions. I haven't leveled up either. Basically what that means is just that, you know, no map markers, none of that sort of stuff. Let's see, what do we... Oh yeah, what skills do I have here? Charm 15. Charm 20, okay. I think that some of the charm checks that I'm aware of are like 20, 25-ish, at least in the early game. That's sort of the baseline for some of the tougher ones. So I guess I can't do too much talking out of my way out of specific situations, but that's okay. I forget exactly what the mappable landmarks are, aside from the big mushroom and the fortress, which I don't quite want to go to yet. Oh good, another skull. Oof. Okay, yeah, this is one of those... On occasion, you'll have more than one route past a door. Oh wait, no, that wasn't the only one. There's another one around here somewhere. Let's see here. There we go. Nope, there's one more. Because it always is like, a thing has... you get a notification, a thing has changed when a thing has changed, which is always helpful to find out when a thing has changed. Maybe... no? It's not in there, surely not. Well, regardless, like I said this last time, I don't know if we ever find out what is making those sort of echoey creature noises, whatever they are. It's possible. Let's see. Can we see the giant mollusk from here? Because there is a gigantic mollusk in the sky. Maybe we don't have a good vantage point from it where we are right now. Oh well. The mollusk is the site of some cool stuff, I'll say that much. Oh, maybe it is in there. No. Nope. Were I to have fallen to my death just there, pretty sure I would have just respawned to town. So, punishment for death, not too serious in this game. It's not a very challenging game overall. Oh, wait a minute. There it is. There we go. Silly me. And there's our first bit of combat magic. After an entire stream of not having it. Although I'm not really building magic focused that much this time around. Let's see here. Oh, I do have Entice already. That's good. Forgot about that. Here we go. Oh, I need more spell cast. I see. Okay. I built very heavily on spellcast in my first playthrough, so that limitation was somewhat of a surprise. Oh well. So, let's see, what sort of nonsense can I ramble on about in the absence of a... Oh, we got a little godling here. This little tiny baby god. How cute. All right. Yes, I'm just gonna go back, grab the mushroom bit on the map, which luckily does not require me to go in again. Although I don't know if enough time has passed for any of the enemies to respawn. I think they might respawn specifically on zone changes, and we haven't done that despite reloading. Although there is in-game time that passes. So, there we go. Interesting landmark. Alright. Yeah. Now we got our map filled out a little bit more. A lot of the last stream was much more dialogue focused and much more doing quests that involve active story. And right now, at least for the moment, doing a lot more just kind of roaming, which is what makes it a little bit more, I guess, Elder Scrolls-y in the general feel of it. I think that when it comes to whether or not something feels like Elder Scrolls, to me, it very much does in the moments of just kind of roaming around as this, you hear these weird chittering things and the very ethereal ambient music. And what I like about this, beyond those moments, is that I think the quests are pretty interesting, all things considered. Which, again, we saw a little bit of that last time, and we will again later. When I actually move on to Hallowshire. Well, actually, might as well do this quest here. The mayor of the town of Pwyll, who likes to imbibe the town's tea, the town's sort of prophecy-granting tea, saw something nasty happening with this monster. The bandits in this area have seemed to have acquired a monster for themselves, and they're threatening the town with it. So, one of the things we can do is try to... Well, let's see. Stop right there. This is the esteemed mercenary company headquarters of the Rotten Onions. None may pass without authorization from our captain, John Birdbark. What kind of name is the Rotten Onions? It's a very fine name, I'll have you know. Birdbark is an esteemed scholar and battle wizard, as well as our captain. It's his reasoning that it's a name designed to strike fear in our enemies. And how does that work? Well, it's semiotic, see? Like words and their meaning and stuff? Yes, but why do onions strike fear to the hearts of your enemies? The guard tilts his head and scratches his jaw. Well, people don't like onions, see? It makes you cry, and rotten ones are even worse. Never mind, I give up. The guard nods, evidently satisfied. What's with that giant monster? Oh, it's a giant nautilob. Pretty scary, huh? He leans in close and chuckles, but you don't quite get the joke. You see, the mayor of Pwyll hired us to do a job, but she's refusing to pay up. So we're gonna sack the place unless she hands over the coin. I want to get inside your headquarters. Well, you can't. He scratches his jaw. Unless you get us the mayor's ledger. I think this one does require a charm I don't currently have. Just a huge fan of the Rotten Onion. That's all I want to know. He nods. How's it going? Pretty sure I don't have that, but that's okay. What I do have, I think, is a truth potion. You discover that the Rotten Onion mercenaries who have been threatening Pwyll Village with a monster have been bluffing all this time. The monster is actually an illusion. I guess it's just it's a weather balloon. Or something. Well. Sucks to suck. And then, as far as map goes... What else is... Maybe the mountain is a landmark? I don't remember exactly. Alright, I guess not. That's okay. The truth potion is very useful. Throughout the game, you can use it to see through, like, secret passages and stuff. And the fact that you can use it to complete that quest is also very handy. But it can be a little bit expensive, especially this early in the game. Fortunately, I'm planning on playing a little bit more focused and not doing as much exploring compared to other... compared to just playing naturally, because I do want to get ahead onto some more plot stuff, because I want to ultimately get all the way to the Clockwork Kingdom, and then maybe I'll stop streaming this game after that point, which won't be tonight, for the record. Alright. Did I get enough landmarks, or are there still more to go? Right. For this region, the old God of War fortress over there called the Blinding Light. Okay. Oh, of course. Okay. And finally is the Sacred Shroom. Okay. So I just have to go back over here. And then, perhaps, rest, or... well, we'll see. I think the Blinding Light Fortress, as we learned last time, is sort of the home base for this game. At least for a while, but there is player housing, eventually, in each of the main regions. I think Blinding Light counts as the housing for this region, but before then... yep, there we go. Okay. Yeah, I believe that... yeah, that elevator goes all the way back to somewhere else we don't need to go. Now, eventually, I believe in Hallowshire we get the spell that lets us run fast. The Sonic Mode spell. Obviously very exciting when we eventually get there. Whoa. What was that? Was that a frog missile? I think so. I will say, for all of the strengths of this game, which I think there are considerable, there's still something about kind of the Bethesda way of doing things that is not recaptured by any of these sort of Elder Scrolls-like games that I can remember playing. And I think a big part of that is actually part of the, I guess you could say, casual... I mean, that kind of sounds... Oh, perfect. Letter of recommendation for the Erudite Academy. That sounds... It seems a little bit like the... I don't know, casualization. I don't really like that as a descriptor, but it is kind of the best one when it comes to the way that, like, Skyrim or even Oblivion or, you know, Fallout, the Fallout games, the Bethesda Fallout games, will deal with objective markers and filling out the map. There is something a little bit of like a... And I forget if I've mentioned this, I forget if I've described this before in like the Avowed video or the Tainted Grail video, but there's something about kind of the Skinner box reward feeling of having, you know, just this like thing found notification popping up on your mini-map. And I think, you know, this game very respectably is not going for that. As I was demonstrating, you know, filling out the map manually is a very different kind of exploration, and that works really well for what this game is. But I think there's a degree to which there's like an addictiveness to how Bethesda exploration works, and so far none of the Bethesda or the Elder Scrolls likes I've played really try to emulate that. But greetings, the bridge is closed unless you're the bearer of a genuine apostatic union passport, so if you've not got one, get lost. I've got a passport right here. Seal looks good. I'm not seeing any signs of magical forgery. Yep, looks like you can pass. Perfect. Thank you kindly, sir. I forget if the music changes in Hallowshire or if it remains, if there's like a... if what we've been hearing so far is all of the first region. Because I know Clockwork Kingdom and Endless Realm have very different accompanying music. I don't remember if Hallowshire's is different. I feel like it might not be. There we go. All right. Sorry, just checking on something. Okay. There we go. Nope. Okay. That's one way to survive falling to your death. Which I've definitely done multiple times throughout my various playthroughs of this game. Okay. Oh, right. Mothmen. Let's see. Yeah, it was Z. Perfect. For whatever reason, like, my mind jumped to Agent Z from Buzz Lightyear of Star Command, the TV movie spin-off of Toy Story, which was definitely one of my favorite like movies as a kid. And I remember going back to rewatch it recently. A lot of it still holds up. It's very definitely when the Lightyear movie was coming out, I was like, well, we kind of already have, you know, what does the Buzz Lightyear story that the toy is based off of look like? We've already had that, and it's Buzz Lightyear of Star Command, starring Patrick Warburton as Buzz Lightyear. Although they did get Tim Allen back for the movie. You can watch, I think, both versions of it, which is actually kind of interesting, just to see like different actors deliver the same lines in the same movie. I don't know what other things are like that you can see so clearly different takes on the exact same thing. Oh, more tea. I didn't even have to buy it from the guy to bring it to not Matt Berry. Okay. Where am I? Here, I think. Okay, yeah. Perfect. Alright, yeah, and I was right. There is new music. Huzzah! Ah, hello. Hallowshire fields used to be sown with Wiccan seed, for their deities, though diminished, could ensure a good harvest. The god contracts were modest, the blood price was equitable. Of course, the apostatic union sniffed it out eventually. They sent over that polymath and her retinue to stamp out any smoldering divinity, and now the common folk starve, their fields barren and desolate. The Union claim it's in the name of reason and progress. She lets out a discordant sigh. I admit those old Wiccan contracts can be deceitful. Many don't realize the weight of their signature until the curse sets in. But the Union would smother the sky realms in a tangle of bureaucracy until we worship naught but deadlines and shipping manifests. Their only saving grace is their honesty, for at least the people know they are trampled upon. So what about you, stranger? Would you rather be enveloped in a sweetened lie, blissful in your ignorance, or would you choose the bitter truth? Well, everyone deserves to know the truth. If false belief brings joy, let it be. The idea of truth is a lie. We are all deluded. I see there's the... I feel like that is kind of the cop-out answer, isn't it? The cop-out academic answer. Everyone deserves to know the truth. She smiles wryly. But could we ever know the truth for certain? Perhaps we are all but actors in another's dream, destined to be forgotten with the morning light. If the Union discovered it was thus and wrote it all in their books, would we be enlightened or just more lost? She might like the cop-out answer, actually. But who knows? Well, I guess if I could reload and try again, I could see. But unfortunately, this game, well, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on, I guess, personal preference, this game does not really do reloading. You have one autosave save file per playthrough. And that does mean you have to live with your choices, much more so than any game that allows for reloading. But, you know, it does mean that if you want to go back and check things, you either have to start a whole new game or just look up other playthroughs and hope that they made different choices, which is not, it's not the same as getting to specifically reload and see it for yourself. So, pros and cons. Alright, this is the Cartographers Guild. The youth is fumbling with a teacup, a spoon, and an assortment of other objects which all appear to be floating. God's damn wizards wouldn't know a good spell if it... Huh? The objects clatter to the floor. Are you trying to get into the academy too? I wouldn't bother. You could enchant a silk slug to shit gold and they'd still ignore you. They won't let you in without a recommendation. Why are you playing with all that stuff? Why, these are demonstrations of my most sophisticated cipher spells. See this spoon? He shoves the spoon into your hand. It is damp, sodden. I've created a spell to make any object sweat. Incredible, no? The applications are limitless. I can't think of a single use for sweaty spoons. Well, that just says more about your lack of imagination than anything else. But that's just one of my spells. See this teacup? Put it to your ear and you'll hear a man crying. That's a real man, though I have no idea where he is. Oh, and this hammer? It's the safest hammer in the world, as it can't actually hit anything. He continues like this for some time. Eventually, you seize a chance to interrupt his monologue. What's this about an academy? The Erudite Academy. You've not heard of it? Well, it's right above us. That big hunk of rock overhead. The Academy flies all over the Apostatic Union, just so their fancy wizards can gloat at all the poor, talented saps they won't let in. So how do you get in? Well, it turns out being an exceptional cipher scribe means nothing to them. To visit the Academy, you need a recommendation from an accredited scholar. I've seen some of their scholars exploring the islands nearby. You could try asking them for a recommendation, but I refuse to pander to pompous academics. Alright, I get it. No problem. He goes back to playing with his assortment of objects. Fortunately, I just got a recommendation. The enchanted mask is deathly still, but its stoic eyes track you as you approach. The Erudite Academy is closed to all but a chosen few. Present your recommendation or leave. Here's my recommendation. The mask is silent for a long while. Just as you were about to say something, it responds. Recommendation accepted. You may enter. Hold on 1 second, I gotta check something real quick. Alright. All is well. And now we are on to Flying Wizard School. Is this a new track as well? It is. Nice. Oh. Now, what secrets are hidden in the most acclaimed institution of the Apostatic Union? What indeed? I mean, I know, but... The man mumbles to himself as he grinds a mortar and pestle. He seems oblivious to your presence until he mutters, "I'll be just a moment, young'un." He stares at the concoction of herbs, frowning. Suddenly, he hawks a gob of phlegm and spits it into the bowl, grinds, and sets it aside, seemingly satisfied. Now then, I'm Don Gee, prime alchemist of this old academy. What can I do for you? Can you teach me about alchemy? Better than most, I'd wager. With alchemical equipment, you can combine ingredients to make new concoctions. Feel free to use the equipment in my study. Now the Academy has been floating over these Oniric Isles for about a year now, and I've gotten a flavor for the herbs that grow here. Brewed 2 eyes of Pagoth for a potent health potion. Just the same, Paradoxicus revitalizes mana and Jitterseed will restore stamina. But there are plenty more potent combinations, mark my words. Are there any rarer herbs? He betrays a sly grin. Ah, well, that depends who's asking. That damn Inquisition have banned the use of some of the most potent alchemical herbs, to the chagrin of those who know better. He leans closer. But to those who know where to look, you can still find Death's Veil around these parts. It's a shroom that grows from the cursed remains of a corpse. Macabre stuff, but extremely useful. Combine it with an Eye of Pagoth or an Elixir of Restoration. You could be on death's door, but one of those would fix you right up. Yeah, so the alchemy in this game, you gotta approach one of these. You gotta put in 2 ingredients, such as Paradoxicus and Jitterseed, which make a truth potion. Very useful, as I demonstrated earlier. And here we go, let's get the fast travel. The woman tinkers with a small crystal, brows furrowed. She taps at it with a stylus before it seethes with magical energy, and she drops it, cursing. Gods damn it! You broke my concentration! It'll take hours to recalibrate that! She glares at you for a moment. But seeing as you're here, you might as well make yourself useful. I'm Natalia, chief engineer here. Now tell me, how would you like to travel anywhere, instantly? Instantaneous travel? Sign me up. That's the spirit. You see this big chamber here? I had it brought up from the islands below. It's a portal chamber. It's tech from this academy, but it's actually pretty old. The Erudite Academy moves around a lot, and it seems one of my predecessors tried to set up a portal network on these very islands a long time ago. It looks like they never got it working, but I think I've found the missing link. I've calibrated a crystal to act as a key of sorts. It should activate the portals and allow for safe travel, but I just need someone to test it out. Sounds dangerous. Dangerous? Pfft. The chance of the portal ripping you up and sending your limbs to completely different locations is, quite low, I think. Sure, I'll do it. That's what I wanted to hear. See this crystal key? She reveals a glimmering device, a marriage of clockwork and crystal, and hands it to you. It will allow you to activate the portal chambers. Once activated, you can teleport to any of the other portals you've found. The only trouble is that I've only found one, but the Academy records state there should be many more scattered around the island. You don't need to find them all. If you can link this one to a portal chamber in the Endless Realm and another in the Clockwork Kingdom, I'll reward you for your efforts. I believe there's only one other one. Maybe there's 2 others, I forget. But let's see. Yeah. One of them is right outside the fortress. Trying to remember now if there is a 5th one, because there's one in the Academy, one by the Fortress, one in the Endless Realm, one in the Clockwork Kingdom. Here we are. I feel like... What is in... Ah, wonderful. Hi. The Dark Star mercenary languishes, an ale in one hand. She barely registers your presence. So are you with the Inquisition, or some petty thief come to pick at our corpses? I'm just passing through. I have no quarrel with you. Damn straight. Any funny business and I'll lop off your head. She swings an arm in a vague gesture, spilling her ale in the process. If you don't care for Vela, let me in the storeroom below. You know what? Why do I always get the shitty jobs? Sure, you can loot the whole place for all I care. That'll show Vela a thing or two. And then she hit. Can I do? I don't know if I can fake a hiccup. I'm not a voice actor, believe it or not. I just sometimes like acting as if I'm... I don't know, whatever. Steel sword, do I have enough? I do. Delightful. Now my sword is no longer quite as terrible looking. Actually, there's... I mentioned the portal is fast travel. There's other fast travel as well when you unlock certain painting portals. So, and then obviously there's the fast travel of the home teleport spell. And there we are. One link established. Oh, actually, let's go into the city. We can go back to the Erudite Academy later. And talk to you, Mr. Inquisition. Or Miss Inquisition. They have pretty androgynous outfits. There's the mollusk. Oh. I thought that spawned me outside. That was almost bad. Let's see, is that Endless Realm and... No, that's the Endless Realm. That big dragon is around the Endless Realm. Okay. Got anything to say about me? Alright. No comment on me very obviously getting to go into the place that he has been trying to get into. Hold on one sec, I might have forgotten something. Okay. Alright, there we go. Almost lost for a moment there, but luckily the giant skull with a huge knife in it is a pretty good landmark. Hail, peasant! May the apathetic Union shine resplendent. What can you tell me about the Union? The Union is the last bastion of sense in this broken world. We're committed to stamping out the remnants of god worship and cultism. Only human-made magic is permitted in the Union. If you see anything suspicious, an illegal shrine or forbidden text, report it straight away. This town is rife with cultism. Good to know. I'm sure the innkeeper will explain it to us, but I believe that is the skull of a dead god from, you know, the wars that have slain all the gods that we learned about last time. When the Apathetic Union first popped up. What's up? They've had one too many. What a shame. Welcome to the Wobbly Noggin. If you're in need of a rest, we've beds and ale aplenty. I'm looking for someone. Oh, and who might that be? What do you know of Vela Callose? He chuckles. What kind of innkeep do you take me for? I've heard more stories about Vela than I can recount. Her Dark Star mercenaries fought in the Slavian Mutiny, the Battle of Weeping Wizards, and on both sides of the Wiccan Uprising of Hockney. They've taken coin from Riovan councillors and occultist villages alike. He leans on the bar. And when folk ain't spilling each other's blood, they've gone a-plundering. Emberian ruins, Wiccan shrines. You know the tomb of the deathless Dynast King? That was them that stole his face. He leans in so close you can smell his breath. Some folk say she's a saint who's gonna right the wrongs of the Union. Others say she's a devil who leaves a path of chaos in her wake. But you know what? He jabs the table, eyes wide. They were here once, 2 years ago, her and a load of her crew. They kicked everyone else out. Must have been 50 of the saws, getting pissed as skyfish. And I saw that she weren't no saint, she weren't no devil, she were completely shit-faced. He guffaws, wiping a tear from his face. I did warn her about that typhus rum. We made more coin that night than most weeks, I reckon. Actually, I had other questions. Of course, what you be wantin'? What's with the skull? Oh, you noticed? Big fella, ain't he? He's a relic of the God War, one of the old gods who got a void steel spear right through the peeper. His noggin wobbled, then he came crashing down onto this pub. You want to know the funny thing? The pub was already called the Wobbly Noggin, on account of the state of most of the patrons. I believe they call that Providence. You're the man I'm here to see, I believe. The man drums his fingers on the table as his eyes dart around. He does not look at you as he speaks. Begone with you. I'm waiting for someone. You're Vela's quartermaster? I've been looking for you. His eyes snap towards you. So you're the agent. Must admit, I expected someone a bit more, he spits, inquisitorial. I'm a confessor, more of a prisoner than an agent. He laughs, but his eyes stay on you. Ah, so you're with the Confessor Division. That explains it. Those bastards. They mean to insult me by sending one of their expendable rabble. They've hunted me for years, and now they don't even deign to send an agent. He looks around. At least, not to my face. He hisses, teeth gritted. So out with it, Confessor. Has she found it yet? Is it alive? What are you talking about? For a moment, he simply stares at you, brow furrowed. They really haven't told you anything, have they? I may as well be speaking to a silk slug. Do you at least know where Vela is? She escaped on a sloop. He nods. Sounds about right. She'll have gone to the Underlands to rendezvous with any dark stars that are still loyal. He gazes out the window pane. Of course, the question is where. The Underlands are far larger than the Sky Realms. She could be anywhere. What are the Underlands? He frowns at you. Surely you jest. What are the Underlands? Will you ask me about the Neuron Stars next? What's a Neuron Star? So the Inquisition seek to mock me by sending an imbecile, is that right? Well, I won't lower myself to your foolishness. It's very funny to me. Having your character ask like a dumb question that everyone else in the world knows just for the sake of being able to exposit to the player. And then the character you ask is just like, no, actually, you don't get exposition. Fuck off. What are the Underlands? Oh, okay. So, no, really, what are the Underlands? His frown deepens. They are the lands that are under the Sky Realms. Did they extract your mind with a hook in that cell? Seeing your blank expression, he sighs. When the world was destroyed in the World Rend over 400 years ago now, its surface was turned into an inhospitable hellscape. Those lands are the Underlands. How do you know Vela's gone there? She hunts something there. She has done for years. Something of terrible power. I can't tell you exactly what it is, only that she plans to use it to meddle with reality itself, which could be the doom of us all. So you'll help me find Vela? That's the deal I've struck with your Inquisition, isn't it? Hunt my former comrade and my Darkstar crewmates for the Polymath's pardon. After this, I'll be a traitor to everyone. He sighs, leaning back. Well then, Confessor, we may as well get to know each other. What did you, he waves his hand around, do before rotting in a cell? I was an aetherist, a scholar of the cosmos. And yet I ask, what are neuron stars and what are the Underlands? If there is one thing, I mentioned it being funny that the game allows you to just ask basic questions even though your character should know. I do think that it might have been a little bit better if it had done like, here's a dialogue option where your character knows what is going on. Because I know KOTOR 2 does that a lot. There's plenty of... Baldur's Gate 3 does that if you pass certain like intelligence or knowledge, arcana checks or whatever. Or depending on certain character tags or what have you, it'll be like, oh, your character would know this, so you actually get a dialogue option, and written into the dialogue option is sort of exposition for the player, which is, I think, pretty good whenever it happens. And, just a small thing could have... Maybe this game could have benefited from that. I don't know. A scholar of the cosmos? I must admit, your kind has always fascinated me. That someone would strap together a bunch of wood, weave it with a spell, and let it carry them into the endless void? What bravado! What stupidity! Anyway, it doesn't matter now, eh? You've lost it all. Hit rock bottom. That's something I can respect. He smirks and raises his drink to you. As for myself, my name is Jack Basalt. I suppose you've heard of me. He takes a sip from his tankard. See, exactly like this, yeah. Exactly like this. You can recognize him. You can do the same with Vela as well, so I don't know why you didn't have an option to say the same thing with the Underlands or with Neuron Stars or whatever. The shame of the Union Navy? Aye, the one and same. For a time, I was the most respected captain in the Union Navy. I took orders directly from Admiral Callose, Vela's father, and for 5 years I trained Vela aboard my ship. When Vela defied her father and fled to become a mercenary, I followed. I gave up my rank, my station, my ship, to spend my years cavorting with Wiccans and pirates. Shame of the Union Navy, they branded me. He stares down into his drink. But I kept her safe. Was that not also my duty? So you trained Vela? Aye, Vela and the Emberian. Though they'd been schooled at the academy, their father wanted them to sling their hammocks and tie their knots like regular sea dogs. And so they did, through blizzards, cipher storms, and cannon volleys. Those sisters thrived until the Delusion massacre. He thumbs the rim of his drink. I won't speak of that here. Not here. But that was the day Vela decided to leave the Navy and her father. That was the day we became mercenaries. So why are you hunting her? You have to understand, I love that girl like she's my own. I've seen her grow from a headstrong child into a fierce captain, and there was a time, when we were sailing together as dark stars, when I thought she might be the greatest of them all. So, to see her fall into barbarism and villainy has been hard. I can't abide by what she's done, or by what she will do. She seeks to save us, but she'll likely doom us. So I have to stop her, you see? For her own sake. Right, so how will we find Vela? You're asking me? As I said to your masters, I can provide naught but shreds of information. You'll have to do the rest. What I have for you are 3 names. Names of former Dark Star mercenaries who left Vela's crew after the mutiny. Together, maybe the lot of us can track her down. Was this about a mutiny? A few years back, Vela found a map. A map that pointed to something impossible. She'd use it to make a heaven of the sky realms, she said. Change the fabric of reality so folk don't know poverty or injustice or even death. I'm sure she believed it. Believes it still. But for a lot of us dark stars, it scared us witless. You just don't go meddling with things like that, unless you want to die screaming. We tried to convince her, to make her see reason, but she took us down into the Underlands anyway on that mad pursuit. So we mutinied, and the Dark Stars spilled their own blood on those skyships. In the end, Vela escaped with those loyal to her, and the rest of us scattered to lick our wounds. A wicked time, that was. Okay, tell me about these mercenaries. First, there's the Emberian. Called that because folks say she's the last of their kind. Of course, that's pure squid shit. If she was Emberian, she'd be 400 years old. I've heard talk she's somewhere in Hallowshire. Next, there's the Endless Duchess, a powerful cipher wizard. She went back to her ancestral home in the Endless Realm, and like all those you'll find there, she's cursed to never truly die. He smirks. Which means she really is hundreds of years old. Finally, there's Caxton Frost, a genius of the Clockwork Kingdom. That man could engineer a skyship from a sack of junk. Last I heard, he returned to his homeland. And this is Katana. She's got my back. Sorry. And you're sure they'll help us? Am I sure they'll follow you to their certain deaths? Of course not, you fool. They'll probably try and cut your head off. But if you want to find Vela, you're just going to have to ask nicely. And if they do agree. You lot must have captured Vela's fortress, the Blinding Light, correct? I heard cannon fire from there. Tell you what, I'll head there myself after this little chat. And if you find any of those Dark Stars, send them there and all. He affixes you with a grim stare. And that thing Vela's looking for? She mustn't use it. Nobody must ever use it, you hear me? If you've any sense, you'll make sure it stays buried down there. He shifts, suddenly nervous. Right, well, I think we're done here. Yeah, tell me about the Emberian. Oh, that's the... Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Alright. I thought that was a repeat. Okay. The Emberian, that's what people call her, but I knew her as Orlaith. She's been close with Vela for years, and is one of the few who can match her with a blade. She was one of the first of the Dark Stars. It was just me, Vela, and Orlaith, setting out on a wobbly sloop. By the end, Orlaith was captain of the ship, and second only to Vela. She wears an ancient pseudo-Barian armor, and on account of that, folks like to say she's 400 years old too. Of course, that's a load of nonsense. Emberians are the people from the Underland, like from the surface world, who did something, and then the apocalypse happened, and now there's islands in the sky, and the Underlands are inhospitable to most people. Which, I don't think it's... I forget if it's technically been exposited to us, but yeah. After the mutiny, she set out on her own. I heard whispers she set up camp somewhere in Hallowshire, but I can't tell you any more than that. Tell me more about the Endless Duchess. The Endless Duchess. She's a powerful cipher wizard. She went back to her ancestral home, and like all those refined... That's the same as before. Okay, interesting. And this is new too. How come the Duchess doesn't get anything new? Frost called himself a techno-archaeologist, and if you laughed at that, he'd teach you a brutal lesson. That's why we dubbed him the Professor. The man always was an odd fish, distant, melancholy. You never could quite tell what he was thinking, but no one knew more than him about ancient Emberian machines, or modern ones for that matter. As for how to find him, well, he talks like a posh prat, but swears like a sailor. Doesn't suffer fools gladly or at all. Has trouble walking. Oh, and he has a moth tattoo on his left arse cheek. Now, word on the Dark Star grapevine is that Frost is dead. 2 crewmates saw him jump overboard one night in open sky. Afterward, they found a note. He'd sided with Vela in the mutiny, see, and couldn't get over what he'd done. But me? Nah. I won't believe it till I've stubbed out my own cigar in his cold, dead eye. Frost always was a patriot at heart. If he's alive, odds are he's back in the Clockwork Kingdom. How do you know about his tattoo? Basalt smirks. I'll leave that to your imagination, Confessor. That's all. All right, I'll be at the blinding light. Calling all denizens of the Apostatic Union. Our land is beset with a most terrible famine. Can you sit idle while your crops fail and your loved ones perish? We all know who is to blame. The God-worshipper, the cultist. For too long they have uttered their dread prayers from the fringes of society, bringing terrible omens upon our lands. Our polymath humbly requests the aid of every denizen in this matter. Visit the Apostatic Union's council building in the center of town to inquire further. To be sold, Thornwood Manor. A 200-year manor, once stately and fine, has fallen into disrepair. The manor grounds comprise an entire island just off the south of Hallowshire. With the right investor, this could be a thriving estate once more. For inquiries, visit the clerk in Hallowtown Council. So that is probably the most significant player housing, but not the only one. I'm not going to read through all this, but yeah, there's plenty of books around the world that you can, that give extra lore. And when you do get a house, you can get basically like a big book that has all of the different lore in it that you can read at once. So rather than, in something like, again, Skyrim, you can pick up books and, take them with you and maybe put them in the bookshelf in your home. Damn. That's some bad luck. I mean, I guess this is a high... There we go. This is a high DC, but still. But yeah, so in this game you can't, pick up locks. Or, sorry, locks. You can't pick up books per se, but when you read one, it'll go into this sort of automatic, like big, master compendium, and you can read that at the player housing. All right, that does not tell us anything. Yeah. Let's get a little extra wisdom, maybe. Is that enough to... No, it's not. Dang. Oh, very nice of you to just have this. Free beer. Very nice. Alright, where's the third? Here we go. Ooh. Uh-oh. You wake up groggy and notice something is amiss. Yes, there's no doubt. Someone has been here while you were asleep. Fortunately, most of your gear was well hidden, but the thieves have stolen some coin, and they stole exactly 1 coin. I'm just gonna consider that a tip for using the room. I mean, come on. I think that's what happens. That's what happens if you sleep in a part that is not like your house or a rented room. There is always a risk that you'll just get robbed. And I think sometimes that means that you might lose like actual equipment, but yeah, that's rarely happened to me in my full playthrough. So yeah. This used to be such a quiet place. Since the Apostatic Union stepped up its presence here, there are guards patrolling the streets night and day. Yeah, that'll happen. Let's see. I do want the... That's right, yeah, so there's... So this guy will have some hats to boost some stats. It's not mean for that to rhyme. Ah, welcome to Glorious Garments. I can tell you are a customer of exemplary taste. I have a selection of fine attires to choose from. If you're interested, I can also explain the specifics of tailoring. I know what tailoring is. Basically just upgrading clothing that is not armor. Because armor, you need ore to upgrade, and tailoring, you need silk to upgrade. Or, yeah, you need ore or, for armor, different types of threads, because silk is just one type of thread. Have you heard of the Ambarian? Oh, that Darkstar mercenary? I've not spoken with her myself, but I saw her stride past the shop front once. I swear, everyone in the street froze in their place, even the guards. Something about her stride and that armor. I'd not like to bump into her after dark, let me tell you. Alright, well, let me see what you have for sale. Okay, yeah, so this hat will boost our charm. Which is useful. Oh, I don't have armor. Where's the magic guy? He's here. Hello. Welcome to the Emporium of Yeah, I'll give this guy Eeyore. Welcome to the Emporium of Oddities. Maybe I should say that for someone else, I don't know. We have spells and equipment for the budding adventurer, and you are welcome to peruse the books I have lying around. Have you heard of the Emberian? Oh, why, yes, I have. She's quite the talk of the town. Many people have seen her striding around in that antique armor. In fact, she came by this shop not long ago. I tried to determine where she obtained that Emberian equipment of hers, but she was very tight-lipped about it. Do you know where I can find her? Well, I did ask her where she was staying. I must admit, I'm just quite nosy like that. And she confessed that the luxuries of the town were not to her liking, though she wouldn't say more on the matter. But after she left, I could see her out my window, making her way back. She strode into the forest to the west of Hallowshire. Of course, with her interest in all things Emberian, I'd wager she'd have taken an interest in that small ruin in the forest, the one with the old rusty turbine that you can see rising from the trees. Oh, but I really shouldn't be telling you all this, should I? Customer confidentiality and all that. Maybe keep it between us, Sure. What you got? Yeah. Okay, yeah, the bone key, which takes us to the Wiccan hideout, I believe. And then general store. The Bubbling Brew. Alchemy Station. Okay, just alchemy stuff. Where is the... Here he is. The countryside is teeming with goblins and unsavory creatures. Only a fool ventures forth without a sharpened blade. Here at A Fair Blade, we've plenty for sale, and you can use our crafting station to modify your gear. Very kind of them to do it for free. Yeah, so there's different tiers of ore that you use to upgrade. And the ore is for weapons and armor. As I already said. Let's pick this up. I don't have any rings yet. Bright eyes shine from an unwashed face. You catch the girl's attention. Hey, you wouldn't want to help a girl out, would you? What's the problem? She wiped sweat from her brow. I've got to deliver these Bion silks to my guy at the Wobbly Noggin, but after lugging these here, my own noggin's not doing too good. She flashes you a smile. I'll make your delivery for a cut of the profit. Her smile fades a little. Of course, that's only fair. You'll get paid. She hands you a wooden box, a crate of quote-unquote silks. Just ask around for Bardolph. He's usually in the small room, if he's not got himself kicked out. She winks. Yeah, I know the way. Goodbye. Hold it. He looks at your box. What you got there? These are silks from Bayonne. He chuckles. Like I've not heard that one before. You know we've got a real problem with smugglers in Hallow. A lot of illegal goods slipping through the net. So I'll ask again, what's in the box? Bayonne silks. My friend is a respected tailor and this delivery is urgent. Alright. Just gotta ask is all. Lots of smugglers in Hallow, you see. Carry on now. So this is the intro quest for the Hallowshire Thieves Guild, which isn't all that in-depth as I recall, although I may have locked myself out of being able to advance it very far just by virtue of having killed too many other thieves. Are you the guy? The man cracks you a thin yellow smile. Yep, name's Bardolph. I don't think I know you, friend. Name's Bardolph. I don't think I know you, friend, so unless you got business here, I suggest you trot on. I was asked to deliver some Bion silks to you. Ah, Inogen's newest recruit, aye? His smile grows, teeth like shattered glass. You should have said. He prizes the box open. A cluster of tentacles burst forth, and he slams it shut again. Aha! Fine silks indeed. These'll make a lucky noble very comfortable. Wait, what was that thing? His expression snaps into anger. You said it yourself, friend. Buy on silks. Anyway, here's a few coins for your troubles. Look, we're always in need of folk like yourself. If you want more work, head down to the slums past the docks. Look for a bust of a skeleton in one of the houses. Give it a yank. It'll let you through to the lost purse. Find Inogen there, and she'll have more work for you. I like that it's Inogen, not Imogen, because Imogen's an actual name, and Inogen is not, and yet. Anyway. Let's see. We don't have to do it at night, I don't believe. We can... Let's see, where was... Here we go. Here is one of a couple different entrances into the sewers. Ooh, that was lucky. Just kind of did that without expecting. Alright, let's see. This is the back room for one of the shops, and I don't remember which one. But, yeah. I feel like Hallowshire... Well, no, that's not... I was going to say Hallowshire is the closest thing to, like, an RPG city that exists in this game, but no, that's not true. The, what was it? Pheropolis, I think, is the Clockwork Kingdom one. And that is much more of, like, a proper city, like, industrial and everything. But, I mean, this game does, you know, being an open-world RPG like it is, this game is... It doesn't have the biggest cities, just because it is a game where you're supposed to be able to go anywhere, do anything, that sort of deal. And that does mean that when you can go anywhere, you can't have sort of lore-accurately large cities. But, you know, Hallowshire is nice enough, I would say. It's got a clock tower, it's got a few shops. I don't know if it has any homes, though. That's a bit of a failure in urban planning, I would think. But, oh well. Oh, we have not picked up the major area quest. As with many games, there is a major area quest and also a main quest. And the main quest is to find Vela's crew members. Main quest for this area is finding the Emberian, who I think is a very cool character. And, let's see. Yeah, let's do that. Sorry, did I did equip it. Good. Yeah, so the Emberian, I think, is a very cool character. And our quest for this area is to find her in the forest to the west. Yep, that's the one. But we also can get the area quest by going to the... I am blanking on what they call him, even though they've said it multiple times. The regional sort of apathetic union governor, the, whatever, it'll tell me. The clerk's desk is buried under ink pots and parchment. His arms move wildly, grabbing papers and scribbling with his quill. Occasionally he'll mutter an obscenity, throw a document to the floor, and stamp on it. He notices you approaching. No, never, absolutely not. Yes. Absolutely, undoubtedly, unequivocally, yes. No, I say! The neuron stars will all fizzle to dust before I do anything of the sort. Wait, what are we talking about? I know your type. You have a look about you. A look that says you're a legal nightmare. I did just help smuggle. Maybe your house has drifted into a different principality? Your name contains letters that don't exist? Or your doppelganger claims ownership of your castle? Whatever it is, I don't care. So unless you've come here to purchase that dilapidated old manor house for an outrageous sum of money, please sod off. Maybe I want to buy that manor house. The clerk's eyes widen and his quill snaps, splattering ink across his desk. Ahem. Oh yes, I believe I was saying we have a luxurious new manor house for sale at an entirely reasonable fee. It's yours for mere 200 coin, a steal, really. That's an outrageous price. I'll give you half. Oh, needed 90. That is quite a high skill check for that. Quite preposterous. This is an historic manor, older than the mushrooms of these isles. Full price and not a penny more. Can I just say, by the way, my understanding, grammatically, is that an historic is not correct. But it's the sort of thing that a lot of people who want to sound grammatically correct will say. They'll be like, oh, it's an historic, because you'll have an hour. But the consonant of historic is clearly there. The consonant is not silent like in hour. So anyway, thank you for this. Thank you for attending this rendition of the Grammar Police. Anyway, how much money do I have? Can I afford this? I can't. Well, oh well. Polymath. That's the word I was completely blanking on. She does not look up from her papers. Ah, another loyal subject of the apostatic union. I must remind you that such impromptu meetings such as these may not exceed 10 ticks of the clock. Are you here to serve the union, or is this another matter of... She sighs. Livestock dispute. You are very welcome, Platui, and welcome to the chat. Thank you for thank you for saying hello. Let's see. Yeah, I want to serve the apostatic union. I kind of already am. She looks at you, finally. Ah, a willing subject of the realm. Excellent. We are hunting a god, and we need all the help we can get. As you no doubt know, Hallowshire is beset with famine. The crop yields are poor, the crops yields, that's definitely a typo, which aggravates a much greater problem. God worship. In their panic, the populace have resorted to illegal prayer. Cultism is rife. The situation is so dire that an Inquisition division has been dispatched. The scryers say that we're dealing with a... She inhales. A Class B god entity. The investigation is focused on the farmlands outside of Hallow, but the Inquisition impose apostatic law with a heavy hand. Many god sympathizers have already been put to the gallows, stoking anger, so I am turning to the populace for support. Even the most lowly of subjects could help uproot this problem. I have but one question. Where is this god? Any assistance will, of course, be rewarded in coin. Tell me about this famine. The famine is the lesser problem. No doubt it will be solved in a matter of months. We are awaiting food imports from Lundell. and I have the utmost faith they will not be delayed again. But the peasants, in their impatience, have turned to the occult. Such foolishness. They seek to undo all the good the Union has done. Where should I look? The Inquisition is making its way through the countryside, searching farmsteads for God sympathizers and hidden covens. I would ask around there and search for anything the Inquisition has missed. But there is also Hallow Castle, where a noble family resides. The old dynasties are still treated with respect in the Union, so the Inquisition has held off for now. But the nobles have ancient ties with gods, so I would eye it with suspicion. I'll see what I can do. Farewell. Oh, that's right. Yeah, this is the... Hail, peasant! Are you in need of work? God shells have been found in the region. They contain godlets, dangerous occult specimens. We want them brought to us. All of them. What exactly is a godlet? A godlet is a pathetic remnant of a once terrible entity, a god. Though we destroyed many in the God War, they have a tendency to sprout again like weeds. Pockets of Wiccan resistance still linger in Hallowshire, and it seems they are trying to retrieve their most foul and nefarious entities. Did it say deities? I completely skimmed that. Needless to say, this is a threat to the safety of the Oniric Isles and the Apostatic Union as a whole. It is our duty to eradicate these verminous godlets. Goodbye. You can sell godlets to a variety of different factions to basically farm approval with them. And I don't think the gains are significant enough to really offset the faction reputation hits that you get from siding against them in certain quests, but theoretically, godlets are infinitely spawning, and they are infinitely... Ah, wonderful. And they are infinitely... you can infinitely turn them in. Yeah, and that is a magic painting that takes you to the house you can buy, if I'm not mistaken. So it's not that there's a network of different magic paintings, but there is a magic painting right next to this fast travel teleport point. So it is sort of stringing different things together to some extent. Hello there, what's this? Hail, peasant. May the Apostatic Union shine resplendent. I'll just be going. Good, I am in fact allowed here. Always lovely to see. But yeah, this game does have faction approvals. Let's see here. Yeah. Apostatic Union, neutral. Darkstar Mercenaries, neutral. So, the more that you get, the more you encounter and the more you actually do things that they notice, then they'll appear. Ah, the view from here is superb, is it not? All one needs is a compass and a map, and you'd have quite the adventure, I'd wager. Do you know where I can find a telescope? The Emporium of Oddities here in town sells an assortment of goods for the budding explorer. I picked up a telescope from there myself. Farewell. I forget what telescopes do. It might just be getting to see things at a distance. As, telescopes are wont to do. Probably don't need to waste money buying one, because I don't believe I've ever really used... I don't know, it might be useful. There's a lot of small things about this game that I don't fully remember from my first playthrough. All right, where shall we go? That's the that's the Wiccan Sky Island. There's a hideout of them there. Might as well stop by the cartographer. What landmark is this? Is the cartography landmark just where the cartographer is? Is that what's going on here? Yeah, it is. That's a little egotistical of you guys, isn't it? Ranking your very own tent as a landmark. Useful, don't get me wrong, but, you know, maybe a little bit egotistical. The scholar seems to be absorbed with their looking glass. They peer through, scribble something in their notebook, then peer again. They do not look at you. Traveler, Apologies, I'm on academy business, and this map won't make itself. About those cipher charts I'm making. Yeah. Right. Okay, what MX do you need for this region? Hallowshire is a large place. In the center, we'll need the Hallow Clock Tower in the middle of town. Then to the east, we'll want the biggest farmstead. Next, there's a ruin entwined with a tree to the west. And finally, to the south, find the point at which the river splits in two. Alright. Pilfered 16 coins. Bit of a weird thing to say pilfered when I got paid for work, but oh well. I'm sure some in-universe cartographers would consider someone who isn't one of them taking money for this to be a form of pilfering if they're particularly snobbish about letting people in, or letting people do work who aren't strict members, which some of them probably are, some of them aren't. I think this means there is a hidden cave somewhere around here. And the way that you're supposed to do that, the way you're supposed to there we go. Oh. Yeah, the way that you are supposed to find it, if you're not just gonna like hug the wall, is okay, must be activated elsewhere, is to use a truth potion, a potion of truth, and then it'll get rid of that illusory wall, but I don't need it. I believe there are some times when the thing you need a truth potion to see is an invisible bridge, though, so it's a little less feasible to just kind of nose around for those. close am I to another? Okay. Yeah, so I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the lore for the godlets is that they're like little fragments of actual gods that can grow, that can eventually, if left alone, they can regrow into full-on gods. And so Hypostatic Union obviously has a vested interest in not allowing that to happen. Okay, I think the way here is with this. Yep. I definitely need to put more points into spellcraft when I next level up so that I can equip more than one without having to do that. Sustainable god, exactly. You can probably farm gods if you wanted. Here's another one. Wow. These are a lot of lockpicks I can't pick up. I'm sure. Yeah, alright. Time to brute force this. Okay. Someone's left a trap out for us, to quote characters in Baldur's Gate. Ah. Finally. What's the button for that again? Q, okay. I knew Q did something. I just hadn't unlocked anything that it does yet. Okay. Alright, well, here we are at the big farms. The farms where there's the famine. Hello? The villager slumps forward, voice faint. Please, some food, please. The Apathetic Union, I think, aesthetically is kind of designed to at least somewhat be a little Warhammer 40k Imperium. A little bit. I could sleep in a bed there and risk getting robbed again. That's right, okay. Where's the... Here we go. Hi there. do my duty as an agent. God worship is outlawed, and these people are violating apostatic law. But it's hard not to sympathize. The famine is bad here, and people are starving. It's clear the Union isn't doing enough to help. I don't blame these people for looking for a solution. I don't blame them, but I do punish them. That is some sheer lawful neutral attitude right there. Just like, well, you've got good reasons for disobeying the law, but you still broke it, so time to hang. Which, I will say, given the sort of story of, what the gods were like when they ruled, I wouldn't say it's necessarily completely unreasonable to be nervous about what would happen if the gods come back. The Inquisition agent is watching a body swing from the gallows with a grim fascination. Cultists riddle these halls like vermin. Hills, not halls. Whenever we lift a rock, a dozen scuttle out. Anyone could be secretly devout. So watch yourself, stranger. Our eyes are on you, too. Tell me about these cultists. They worship something called Pagath. Nasty old fertility god. Our scribes have traced him back to the Middle Ages, which would make him ancient, if this isn't some imposter. Whatever this is, our scryers are picking up Class B energies around the farms and the castle, so it's a big one. Some of the people around here are bearing mutations consistent with fertility curses, so we're close. There's something here. What do you think is here? Not sure. We found a cache of fertility idols, and a Wiccan priest was hiding in a secret chamber. There's something we're missing, though. Something big. We've interrogated a few of the locals. Everyone breaks eventually. But when these lot blurted something about a bell tower, some silencing curse kicked in. Their mouths filled with maggots, thousands spilling from their lips until their throats ripped open. Funny thing is, there's not a bell tower around here. We'll have to widen the search. Your methods are sickening. Huh. Another reformer, eh? Thinking that worshippers should be tolerated, the sentences reduced? You've not seen what I've seen. Towns that made terrible bargains. Hordes of creatures no longer human, the streets running with blood. The only option is to purge it all. Not all gods are evil. With regulation... Watch it now. This isn't a university, and you don't look like a scholar, which makes those words treason. Now get out of my sight before I decide to do something about it. Well... Somebody doesn't want to debate in the marketplace of ideas. Yeah, I do think, and this, I was touched on this last time with the choice in Pwyll. I mean, some of the gods, like they will, like what they do will work. Like sacrificing yourself to make whatever sacrifices the gods want will actually result in bountiful crops or scryshroom or whatever. But there is always the price, and that does mean the gods getting control. So, it is I think a pretty well presented scenario where there really is. It's a bad situation, and I think you can understand where both the Apathetic Union and the various cultists are coming from, even though, the Union is clearly very brutal and tyrannical with how they enforce things, and without the gods, it's clear that there are some issues here, but I mean, one thing that I don't think the game really dives into is a question to what extent is this the fault of, like, to what extent are the gods truly necessary versus to what extent do people just need to adapt without them? Then again, the God War was, what, 40 years ago in the setting? So that's quite a lot of time to try to adapt. Maybe it was 20 years. I forget. It's been said, but I am blanking. Okay, I actually don't want to... Alright, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna find the thieves, I think. Because I might want to actually ingratiate myself with them this time, because I am a, the backstory that I gave myself is being a crime lord, and if you kill, if you approach thieves out in the world, they will attack. But if you do that too much, then they will, if you actually defend yourself, then they'll turn hostile, which is a little bit unfair of them, I would say. Here we are. It's the same girl from the docks, but her friendly disposition has gone. She eyes you with a cold stare. Imogen, right? Bardolph said you'd have more work for me. You made the delivery, huh? Not bad. When I saw you walking off with it, I was sure you'd be hung up in some prison by the end of the day. Those things are really illegal, you know. So what, you can afford to just throw away the illicit cargo? I feel like that's not very efficient Thieves Guild running. Anyway, Bardolph told me to give you another job, so speak to me again when you're ready. I'm ready. So there's this wealthy merchant called Vernon Berwig. He runs the Winged Merchants Guild and lives on a fancy street up in Hallow. He's a collector of strange artifacts, and our client wants their hands on a particular one. Now, I already had someone scout out his property. There's a chamber downstairs that's barred from the other side. The item's gotta be in there, but a lockpick's not gonna cut it. So there must be a secret way into Vernon Berwig's house that leads to that chamber. Find the secret entrance, recover the strange artifact. Simple, huh? Alright. Also, might as well... Your boots look well worn, friend. Yes, I have some gauntlets to sell. Here's all of them. Which, what, 2, 3? Alright, now, Thieves Guild, I should have some faction... Yeah, or outlaws, I guess. Not really Thieves Guild, but whatever. You look like someone who can take care of themselves. A word of advice if you'll hear it. While the countryside starves from the famine, the merchants here are just as rich as ever. They won't let you root around their houses in the daytime, but at night, well, that's a different story. Just make sure you stock up on lockpicks if you're planning any unsavory activities. Picks break all the time, so you can never have too many. There are places you can buy them if you know the right people. Including right here. You don't want to send some business your friend's way? I feel like, whatever. This has gotta be a really high, yeah. Oh, hell yeah. We call that some real good luck. Good RNG. Also, I should sell the various treasures I have. There's no point in just holding on to them. Alright. Really? I need some other way to up my spellcast, I guess. Anyway, here's a magic painting. This will take us back to Pwyll. Hi there. What's this? Another drop-in? I thought I'd told Dwyn to stop giving a key to any old breather. She lets out a raspy sigh. Look, I'm sure you know the drill, but tell anyone about her little smuggling enterprise and you'll get a blade in the gut. Got it? She claps her hands together. Well, with the pleasantries out of the way, what'll it be? You looking to move some goods, or are you after a Union passport? You look a little worse for wear. What, you never seen an endless before? She coughs. Bet you haven't, and all. Well, the name's Guttrid, and I'm 600 and something years old. Forgive me if I can't recall the exact number. The last 100 have been a bit of a drag. Anyways, I'm not a bloody emissary for the Endless Realm. You can see its rotten trees and mausoleum spires from Pwyll, so if you really want to know the delights of eternal life in a dusty tomb, you can go visit sometime. Yeah, she's from the Zombie Kingdom. What's with the portal in the back? Ah, an old family heirloom, shall we say. Us Endless are fond of our portal mirrors, even if they often lead you to the arse end of a mausoleum. Hello, Buttery Toast, welcome. Thought I might as well make good use of a pair, and struck up this little partnership with Dwin. That one leads right to the lost purse in Hallowtown. Let's just say the folk over there share a mutual distaste for union taxes. She chuckles. Only they keep the room barred from the other side unless we have a delivery, so don't go snooping now. Well, guess what? That's where I came from. What do you have for sale? Ah. Yeah, you got lockpicks. Wow, that is 2 6. That is 2 6s in a row. Let's see. Alright, looks like I gotta rest soon. Assuming I can't enter. Yeah. Must be friendly with the Thieves Guild. And now we're in the sewers. Yeah, this is not... Oh, wait a minute. Maybe this... Perfect. Yeah, hey, good news. Good news, Thieves Guild manager. I already broke into that house. All is well. Easiest job ever. Where is she? Here we go. Wow, you stole that artifact from Berwig's house? I gotta admit, I'm impressed. I had you down as a quitter for sure. Client's gonna be real happy with this. You've earned your pay and then some. Cool. You got anything more, or? Okay. Because that's where I had left off. Bold of you to counter-program the USA Bosnia World Cup match. Ah, that must be where everyone else is. all the other Dread Delusion fans. Let's see. I do want to unlock that, so I guess I should go back to Pwyll. Yeah, so we are fatigued right now, so I should probably rest also. It's not really Vela's... That's a weird thing to call it. It's not really Vela's gunship. It's the... Her gunship is gone. I'm sure the Venn diagram of viewers is a single circle. Exactly, yeah. Oh, there's basalt. Yeah, as you gather the various crew members from Callose, they will show up around the fortress, as Basil said. All right, now if I recall correctly, that farmhouse there is where the underground part. For viewers just turning in, what's happened in the last 2 hours? Well, I have advanced. I mean, I'm back in the area I was in Pwyll right now, but I advanced from here to Hallowshire. I also, while I was here, I found that the mayor of this town. Actually, I should turn that question. I think I forgot to do that. The mayor of this town, who was really concerned. What the heck? Who was really concerned about. Yeah, there's. Who was very concerned about a monster. Yep, there it is. Yeah, so she was like, "Oh no, bandits at that fortress over there have summoned that giant monster," and I used a potion of like true seeing, true sight, whatever you want to call it, to look at it, and it was basically just a weather balloon. So, and I think I forgot to. Oh, gotta wait till morning. I forgot to tell her. I'm sure she's having nightmares about it right now. Yeah, give me a room to rent, as if I don't have a free bed. Whatever. I mean, 2 coins is nothing. Anyway, after that, I went to Hallowshire, which is the sort of central region of the game. Just here. We spoke to Jack Basalt, who was Callos's, one of Callos's crew members, and he told us about the 3 other crew members that we were going to have to assemble over the course of the game in order to actually catch up with her. Hey, guy I saved from the mushroom. Oh, it's you. I still can't forgive you for interrupting the digestion, but seeing how relieved my mother was to have me back, I suppose I wasn't as worthless as I thought. I don't know what will happen to Pwyll. It makes me sad to think of it not being here in the future, but maybe we can find somewhere else to call home. Ah, you're back, she sighs. I suppose I have a few moments to talk. The mercenaries say you never paid them. Well, I never paid them the full amount, no, but that's because they made a ghastly mess of the whole thing. I hired them to clear out a few nautilobs from the surrounding forest. They managed to kill a measly 3, and then had to retreat because one of their men tripped and fell on his own spear. I mean, what kind of idiots are they? You don't have to worry about that giant nautilob anymore. Oh, really? Why, this is splendid news. Please, tell me the details. The nautilob was an illusion, nothing more. Oh my, really? I can't believe I didn't think of that. So the town is saved? We're not going to burn alive? Hurrah! Anyway, please take this reward along with my heartfelt thanks. You've done Pwyll a fine service today. Okay. Do not have a full delusion yet. I should sell, yeah. See if for sale. Yeah, I'm sitting on quite a lot. And now I can actually go back to Hallowshire and buy the house. Homeownership is not unattainable as long as you loot a bunch of treasure from dungeons. And are personal friends with the mayor. right, sir. Mr. Clerk, give me house. Me when I'm at the Blockbuster and I see seasons of the TV show House on DVD. Alright. For a mere 200 coin. A steal, really? The Skyrim method of homeownership? Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, this is... Yeah. Alright, here's the money. Splendid, splendid. Let me just take that from you. Alright, this purse has some heft to it, eh? Now that you're in possession of such an esteemed property, you may want to consider certain refurbishments. On the property grounds, you will find a property station. You can use it to upgrade and decorate a property. There is also a caretaker who lives on the grounds. We do not pay him. In fact, we have asked him to leave numerous times. Perhaps you will have more luck. Okay. Well. Let's see. I'm actually thinking that's going to be it for me for tonight. Still have to make myself dinner, which I have not done. I have barely eaten anything today, so... I feel like this is a good enough time as any, you know? A new homeowner. You know, take some time to luxuriate. New homeowner, new recruit to the Thieves Guild. They just call themselves the Outlaws, though, don't they? But, anyway, yeah. Thanks to those who stopped by. Definitely more of a relaxed one this time around. And also, definitely more... I feel like I made more sort of quick progress through things. But, oh yeah, that was another thing, Buttery Toast. I did unlock fast travel, in this game, which involves, basically finding these, finding these things here. These, little hover things, and you have to find other fast travel points for them, and that's how you do it in the game. But anyway, yeah. I'm still trying to figure out what like a good streaming schedule is for me. So I don't know. Keep an eye on YouTube posts. Keep an eye on... Although I didn't announce this one in YouTube posts. So maybe I should have. Game changer, I imagine? Wait, sorry, in context of what? As in the Dropout show, or do you mean something else? Because that's what my mind goes to as the Dropout show. Oh, no, game changer meaning announcing in community posts. Okay, I think I got it. Yeah, no, so keep an eye on community posts. And keep an eye, if you follow me on Blue Sky as well, I'll probably post there. The fast travel. Okay, yeah, the fast travel is definitely a game changer. You're correct about that. But yeah, I'll post in advance when I figure out next stream schedules. So, yeah, happy night, everybody. See you next time.